the spur controls everything. The conversation is dominated by the spurg. Over the next 2 hours or however long they stay sober, you will lose intelligence. Enjoy Theta Thursday. Your hosts, Dawn and Rhea, Mifune, and some shitty guests.
Should I get my cam?
All right, well, hello everybody, and welcome to Theta Thursday this week, Guys Night. It is Guys Night. What's up, everybody? We have Ghoster here. We got Dawn, who's making a surprise, 2-second appearance, ruining Guys Night.
I'm gonna be here longer than that, hopefully.
We got Dirk. We got Greg. We got Whale Sex, and whose name is that I can't see? And we got Sashi.
Sashi, yeah.
Yeah, because look, my shit
exactly
is
what
like that
this is.
tiny right now because of all the cams. So my entire overlay is kind of fucked right now.
Mifune Swordgod.
Yeah,
Mifune.
yeah, right. But what's up, everybody? Last week was pretty interesting. I could not go. Unfortunately, my parents dragged me to my old high school for the first musical that they've done since the pandemic and all that bullshit. Which was
were your parents in a musical?
no, I've been in a couple musicals. You know this, and then
which ones?
Well, let's see. I was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I was in The Little Mermaid.
Were you an Oompa Loompa?
Were you the mermaid?
No, I was actually Charlie.
You were an Oompa Loompa and a mermaid.
I actually played Charlie.
I'm a merman.
I played Scuttle in The Little Mermaid. I did.
You know what? I think you make a great Skittle.
I did
a
high
mentally
school.
challenged seagull.
I
It's
was,
totally up your alley.
dude. I'm not.
Shit, we got some cat action in the whale sex cam. Gonna need a close up on that cat.
What's really funny about that is that when we got the script for The Little Mermaid, sorry, that's Eve the puppy barking. Eve,
let me
come
guess,
on.
you were cast as Ariel, Mifune.
No, I was cast as Scuttle. And the thing was that Scuttle's supposed to be like the comic relief character, right? So we get the Eve, come on. We got the script, and Scuttle's lines were so boring. They weren't funny. They were awful. And so my director was just improv the whole thing, right? So I didn't study a single line, and I had to improv the entire show. And I still remember at one point they had the prince wash up on shore, and I was doing CPR on him. I go up to his foot, and I grab his shoe and I put it against my ear, and I'm like, oh God, his heart's not beating. Just I had to improv that whole fucking thing. It was weird. But anyway, I did that.
That's not improv. That's what happens in the movie.
I did Music Man, which was really fun.
Do you remember any of the songs, Mifune? Maybe you could give us a little sample.
Today's
anyway.
night, Mifune talks about his musical career.
Anyway, so today we have some interesting things to talk about. We have a brand new patch.
Thanks for for the subscription.
Oh shit, yeah. I still gotta get those alerts set up. Dude, I still have yet to get these dumb alerts set up. Anyway, so so we have a new patch this week, which is great. We have Rorquals being able to jump to industrial sinos. They can bridge mining ships, and they can conduit jump mining ships.
The big thing is the conduit jump with the Rorquals, right? Now,
Yeah.
Whale Sex, you have some specific knowledge on this, being you're a filthy crab.
Yeah, so I have my own personal mining fleet of 12 Hulks or whatever, and so before it sucked because you had to use 2 Rorquals because you can only fit 6 Hulks in 1 Rorqual, and then you have to put all of your characters and move them in shuttles to wherever you're going next to mine. So it's amazing now because you just push the button and you're there. You only have to move your Sino character now.
Well, we had a discussion in the partner Discord today, and since you're the multi-boxing minor god, so the Rorqual's getting 90% reduction in jump fatigue. However, post changes, the barges do not. And the discussion
Oh no.
the discuss well, here's the thing is that they get a timer for taking the conduit jump. They get a red and a blue timer for the conduit jump.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So the question that was brought up in the partner discussion was, should there be a reduction specifically for the conduit jumps from the Rorqual on barges? And a sub question to that is, should that reduction scale with the size of the ship? So if a venture takes a conduit jump, it's going to have a longer red timer than a procure, and a procure will have a longer time than a Hulk, and a Hulk.
Well,
will
see,
have a
that's the
longer
problem, right?
time.
Because that's not even like an implemented thing at this moment. It's based on the distance that you travel. Still. Yeah.
No.
That was
Kitty
awkward.
cat.
I don't think it really matters. Like,
But
you're not-
yeah, well, I think they should implement the reduced distance, because that's not a thing. I mean, it was never needed to be a thing, but now it should be. So that would be like
That's-
a criticism for CCP to be like, hey, so we have this thing, we need to add the reduced jump fatigue as well to fit in line with the ship's new role to be able to go through the jump bridge.
Kitty.
But it only matters if you're traveling more than one jump, right? So.
Are you guys ready to meet the dinosaur?
What are we doing with the dinosaur?
We're gonna meet a dinosaur here soon.
So, I mean, in fairness, the bombers don't get the fatigue reduction when their conduit jumped from a Blops, right?
They
So
do
Yeah,
have
I don't
a-
think a Blops does either, do
They
they?
do have a
75%
reduction
on the Blops.
They do have a reduction, I thought.
No, it's not on their traits. So, I mean, as far as that goes, mechanically, it's equal to the Blops conduit jump.
Yeah, that makes sense then.
Honestly, considering that you take fatigue when you take a Titan bridge or whatever, I don't actually see it being an issue. It's the same mechanic that we've been playing with for years, and it's never been a problem before. Why would it be a problem now? Like, realistically, all it does is prevent people from bouncing their miners around every 5 fucking minutes, which I don't see as a negative outcome, especially when part of the reason for them making changes so that the barges are so much stronger again now is to get more ships back on grids. If you can just, like, jump your mining fleet out at, like, 5 minutes after you get there because a fleet comes through, that's a little bit kind of counter to that intention. And I think, yeah, I don't think there's really an issue with barges not getting a jump fatigue reduction.
Yeah, it makes ice mining a lot easier than it used to be, though. So that's my favorite thing.
I stumbled into the AMOC Mumble channel the other day because I was lost in Mumble, but
I'm
I
so
went in
sorry
that
for you.
cesspool, and they were having a very heated argument about the current state of industry, and they brought up something I didn't really realize. Is they were talking about the most recent update, you know, how it's all miners and barges and jumping and all the stuff that I pay other people to do, right? But they brought up like that's cool, like these new changes are cool, but they're fucking worthless at the moment because PI right now is the bottleneck for pretty much the whole game right now is bottlenecked by PI. And they push this update out, and that's why it's kind of got a mixed review. Everyone's like, cool, but like I still can't build a fucking jump freighter, so like, you know, what's the point?
Yeah, it's your bread and butter, isn't it,
Materials
Sanchki?
in Jita to build what, 3 jump freighters at a time right now, Sanchki?
Yeah, they were going on about PI, and they're like, how about, you know, if we're gonna focus on mining and optimizing that, like, why don't they implement something like where you mine PI materials rather than fucking wait around for 6 weeks to get your shit, you know?
I'd be down
What
for
about
that.
what about you know how we used to have like spod rocks come out of moons? Why not replace that with, you know, things that give PI? Because
Well,
it's
so they
suggested
just
that.
talked
Go
about
back to
that.
because
fucking
it, yeah,
talked
okay.
about that
So
for
I'm sorry, I had to get something and get the dog out of the room because she wanted to play.
They
But,
suggested that, and everyone had a cow because they wanted a PI material on our 4 moons to make them actually worth something. But everyone started freaking out, so they didn't do it. Thank you for all of you guys who overreacted.
You're welcome, Don.
You're welcome, Don. I'm glad to make you happy. That's what I do.
Sanjki, you do industry a lot. Like that's primarily your focus in Eve, right? So like,
Yeah.
is it getting any better?
I will tell you this. Almost immediately. I don't know if this was occurring for this update or there was like a change of tone or maybe something about like just how dominant goons are with the amount of territory we have. But I got in the game recently and I love building Tech 2 ships. That's just my bread and butter. Like Tech 2 manufacturing's the shit. And I do it from the very beginning, like starting at the moon materials all the way until selling the ship. And the project I wanted to start out coming back into the game was Harpies. And I looked at the profit margin on Harpies at the time, like it was fucking huge. It was like 45% when I started, which was insane. Like, okay, so I'm just gonna build Harpies. Started building Harpies, and so far they went from, I believe, crap, I don't have the numbers. They went from something around like 35 mil a pop, and I think they're down to 21 a mil. This is in the matter of 2 weeks. That is a massive. Well, first of all, I'm still on a good profit margin, but moon materials are so fucking cheap now that honestly, all we can expect is all the prices of all ships that don't have PI materials are going to just continue to go down, and the economy is going to be a little disjointed. And of course, that means the economy of the capital ships, and that's more of the AMOC, Neuro was talking about those the other day. Those are going to continue to skyrocket because nobody wants to fucking do PI. And when they do PI, they lose money.
Is this writing on the wall of a huge shift in PI from like as the next patch or the next few patches? Do you think CCP is going to fuck with PI? I think they have to at this point.
Well, no, they said they're going back to revisiting the industrial changes because they want more capitals in the game.
Well, and this is something
in the game.
Yeah,
hold on.
If you look at the roadmap to FanFest, it's in there. They want more dread bombs.
Well, so
That's what they said.
Here's the thing, and along with that, and this is something I've been bringing up both here on Theta Thursday in discussions with Brisk and some CSM people, and I've been bringing it up on Trash Talk Tuesday. A couple of weeks ago, CCP Rotati and CCP Burgers sat down for an interview during the Friendship Week on the CCP Twitch channel. And I would highly recommend that if you have not gone and watched it, watch it. A lot of it is very hilarious and just proves the theory that Rotati knows absolutely jack shit about what he's talking about.
Well,
right?
I mean, 6 months
That's
ago
a lot of
or a year ago, they were talking about how caps were overpopulated.
Right.
They needed to reduce caps, and now they're talking about they want more caps in the game. They've made it impossible to build them.
Hold on, bear with me here. So Rotati was approached with the question of proliferation, the motivations behind the industry rework, why it's impossible to build capitals, why they say they want to bring them back. And it's like a 30-minute answer that he gives. I'm not going to repeat word for word what he talked about, but in short, the whole fact was that they wanted to reinvent how industry is done in EVE. And they wanted to do it without...
Look, a baby dinosaur.
Dawn? Oh,
look at it.
We can't see. You're not sharing your camera.
She is. It's just not on the stream.
I can see it. Is that real, Don?
Oh, there we go. Here,
How the fuck did they get a real dinosaur?
Oh, it's a dude holding a dinosaur arm.
From Jurassic Park.
Is that Indianapolis Jones?
It certainly looks like Indianapolis Jones.
Anyway,
that's very anticlimactic, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. So the short of it, right, is that they knew walking into the industry changes, they knew that it was going to be impossible to build caps. They purposefully set the PI bottleneck where it was on purpose. They didn't explain the reasoning why, but they did, and they knew they were doing that.
Well, no. Well, let's be real here. They've talked about their reasoning for this many times at this point. CCP wanted to kill stockpiles. They started talking about this way back in fucking 2018 when they were still trying to figure out how the hell they were going to do it, and then they brought in CCP Rotati as the economy guy, and he nuked it. He nuked everything. He is the primary driving force for the era of scarcity, and now this new era of plexperity. It's on him.
How does he still have his job, Dirk?
Never heard that.
I don't know. I think it's probably because the executive producer is MIA or an empty suit, and the guys he's got around him quite like him. I mean, he's moved from CCP's finance department pre-2010 through Shanghai and Dust and the general decline of Dust 514 before they originally shut it down, and now he's come to Eve as somebody touching the game rather than just CCP's financials, and he doesn't know what he's doing.
But anyway, they said they want to bring capital production back. They said they got rid of the stockpiles, even though they didn't. They claim that they got rid of the stockpiles. And
How many dreads do you have, Mifune?
I have 2 dreads. I have 2 dreads, 3 carriers, and 1 super.
Than I did
Yeah, Ghoster.
pre-war.
Can I get a number, or is that upset?
He's like, can I talk about this?
20 below 50.
You said it's over 150?
Above 20, below 50.
Ah, okay, that's fine.
Oh, did you build all of yours before the industry changes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be interested.
Supers. I sold a few of them, quite a few Titans. I still have 2 avatars. I mean, a few avatars.
Yeah, I would be interested in seeing what the numbers of like the production numbers for capital ships have been after the change, and if that is why they decided to come back on it, because they didn't.
Hey, Dirk.
Insight on that.
Dirk, I'm in your town now. There's Hogwarts.
All right, go ahead, Sansky. What were you gonna say?
So I have a little bit insight from talking to Nura. He's been one of the premier capital builders of the goon side of things, and he was talking about, or like it was towards the beginning, he got the final numbers of exactly how much it'll cost to build. I think it was an Aeon. Yeah, it was an Aeon he was trying to build, and it was about a 40 bill figure. I don't know what it is now with all these moon materials, but that is an unfit Aeon for 40 bill. And frankly, I don't know a single person who's actually genuinely bought, I guess on consignment, someone had to build something. But I think they didn't necessarily get rid of the stockpiles. They just stopped them from getting bigger. So
no, they didn't, but they claim that things like M2 and the war got rid of the massive 1,000 dread caches that everybody had. That's what they claim.
No, it was the changes caused everyone to take all of their capital ship components and fucking turn them into hard assets. And it was ridiculous. Like you saw before, it was just insane.
Let's run with CCP's narrative. Let's say, okay, yeah, we're doing what we're doing, which they did, right? How does that help the new player experience, which they keep yapping on about?
Because new players aren't building caps.
New players aren't building capitals. No, here's the thing, right?
Aren't building caps.
When it comes to the discussion of Ret Vets versus new people into EVE Online. Ret Vets are that first child that the parents gave them soda and candy when they were 5. And then when they're like obese and 10 years old and the parents are like, all right, no more soda, no more candy. And the kid starts crying his ass off. The second kid, which is the new bro, is only 5 years old, never had a piece of candy or soda in his life. So what has he got to whine about? right? That's the whole thing, is that we're complaining about it because we've the experience. We're complaining
People
about it
aren't
because
stupid though, dude.
no.
Like with fucking
No.
Reddit and with the forums,
No,
with
it
what they
is-
see, they know exactly what the fuck's going
They
on.
don't.
Somebody that's coming,
If you
sure they do.
look at
Somebody
the-
that's coming
if
in
you-
this game, they aren't coming in
No,
blind.
if you look at, like, okay, you go and you look at your standard "I'm new to the game, what should I do," etc. Reddit post, they don't even know what we're complaining about. They're like, "What are you guys complaining about? This game's so great." And then people explain it to them, and then they go, "Oh, okay, I see what's going on now." Right? But when it comes to the reality of that first 2 weeks when most new players are playing and then quitting, right? They don't know what we've been through. They never saw super capital proliferation. New people that are coming into nullsec and joining nullsec alliances have no idea what it used to be like pumping out a Titan every week. So they don't feel the need or passion to complain about it like we do.
Dirk, what's your take on this?
I think there's definitely something to be said from Mifune's point about context and the new players just not having that context of what the hell has been going on over the last few years. I think, once again, it circles back to CCP as a company. I want to be very clear on this one. CCP as a company's focus at the minute on their income side of things and just wanting... I mean, we saw this just a couple weeks ago when they started selling mining barges for real money. I mean... They say that it was limited to 1 pack per account. We know that that's objectively false because we know people who bought multiple barges on the same account. They say that, they want to do this in a way that includes players in the economy, but they would just poof in the ship into place in the first place, that they are trying to backpedal so hard on their focus on pushing monetization over the actual focus on the game that people have been playing and people have been asking for so long. This isn't to say that, the devs haven't been doing some great stuff. The Conduit jump that we talked about earlier, I think that's been really well received. There's some other aspects to the patch notes that came in kind of recently that have
The new
also
sounds, man. When you open and close fucking windows in the game. They're so cool.
Yeah. I mean,
I like sounds.
There's some stuff going on that CCP absolutely deserves some credit for, but at the same time, the leadership of the game, it seems to be happening in spite of the leadership at CCP and not because of the leadership at CCP, would be my take.
You know what I would do? Or
What?
more so, I know that probably the whole staff of CCP watches this stream because how fucking intellectual and important it is to the entire game community.
I mean,
Well,
they
what I
do.
would
I'm not
do-
gonna lie. Some CCPers do watch this stream, and they...
Yeah, here's what I recommend. Okay, see,
X
I
in
am a
chat if
simple
you're with
brain.
CCP.
We're Sigma.
I'm
We
a
just
simple
watched
minded
Trash
person.
Talk Tuesday
Oh
the
my
other day.
god. I'm a simple-minded person, all right? So I can speak for simple-minded people, which are also called as newbies, right? Or just people who play even general. What I would do in this current situation with capitals being so utterly fucking expensive and you have a new player crisis, I got it, guys. Here's what we do. We make the capitals, and I would be, even as a capital pilot, I would like this solution. We take capitals and we make them bigger. That's it. You scale up the models and you make them huge. So that way, when you're flying around in your capital, you're like, "Look at me, I'm fucking huge."
No.
New players, they come in here
Just come
and
out
they
with
see
another
this
level
Titan
of
the size of
cast.
a fucking Keepstar, and they're like, "What the fuck is that? I want to play the game until I get into that." And they get tricked into buying like $3,000 worth of fucking
but
skill injectors and
that
shit.
no, hold on. That brings up kind of a point that I've been saying for the past couple of weeks, right? Right before the industry changes happened, what was the one problem facing EVE Online? It was stagnant. It was stagnant. All right, we didn't have it. This was like before the even conception of Vietnam, right? EVE was just stagnant. You spent every day crabbing, waiting for Omega Gold to drop on you, waiting for a fleet to come through a wormhole, right? EVE was stagnant. And how does every MMO that you can possibly think of solve stagnation?
Anime
New
titties.
shit. Expansion.
Expansions, new
But Mifune,
content,
you have
level-
trick space now.
Yeah, no, okay, I will say it. I liked the Triglavian invasion. I'm sorry, not sorry. I liked it. I thought it was a very interesting new take on expansions to EVE Online lore, in addition to giving CCP the availability to cake new AI code on top of pause code, because they've been doing that for a very, very long time, where they're moving away from pause code by rebuilding a bunch of stuff on top of it. And the Triglavian AI gave them something new. So I think the Triglavian invasion was great.
You
It
guys
think it
was
was
remember that
interesting?
great.
post?
Yeah,
For as
I
much
haven't done
shit.
anything with it yet.
No, that's the problem though. They haven't done anything new yet. We have had no new lore, no new ships, no new content other than stupid events that come up every couple of months that last like 3-4 days before people get bored and are done with it. Like, give us
we
another
only have
expansion.
2 Tech 3
I don't
ship
I don't
sets.
care. I don't care what they do. Introduce the Angels Titan. Introduce the Sisters of Eve Titan. Make T2 Titans. I don't give a fuck. Just give us something new.
Yeah. Put a light at the end of the tunnel, right? I got a
I mean,
question I got a quick question for Ghoster. Ghoster, where did you get that shirt, man?
Sector 6 apparel, the best place to get all of your apparel needs.
I think if you scroll down, you can see that there's a link to Sector 6 apparel, and they've got lots of good stuff. Anyways, go on. Sorry,
No,
Dirk.
but this is exactly what I'm saying. Like, there's so much unfinished story within EVE Online lore that they could expand on. And it's something I touched on today with the event that's happening this week, which is the Garistas hunt event, right? There was a scope video that came out today talking about all of the capsules that ejected out of Jita, and you have to go hunt them and whatnot, right? For the Garistas event, and how the scope was like, oh yeah, they must be sleeper agents within Calderi. Okay, why doesn't this expand into a full-blown fucking story?
I mean, maybe it will. We'll kind of see, but I doubt it.
No,
I'm
they
kind of with you on
won't.
that.
They
It probably
won't. The event is
almost
going
certainly
to
won't.
end, and they are
But-
going to forget about it.
But like, here's the thing about the Triglavian invasion. The Triglavian invasion was great, really interesting in terms of a lore perspective, really interesting in terms of gameplay as engaged. But it was just so long. I mean, this was a total of like a single story arc that spanned something like
2 years.
three expansions over 2 years. Do you want to know when the last chapter of the Triglavian invasion went live? Because I've pulled up the date. It was the 26th of May, 2020. Nearly 2 years without an expansion. All the while,
No new
we've
content
had
for 2 years.
the
You're saying.
resource. I'm
We
saying no major expansions.
No major
to
expansions,
the lore
no-
or anything like that.
No ship
in 2
additions,
years.
no nothing. It's just been all these balance changes. And it's like, okay, some things need to be balanced. That's fine. And we all know that we've been saying for a year now that they should have just ripped the industry band-aid off. That's good and good. But what happened for over the past 2 years, it happened. Okay, and they're not going to suddenly roll back the entire Tranquility server to 2019 and make all of us happy like we wish they did. So the only thing we can do is say, you know what? Fuck it. I give up. I accept what you've done. I am ready to move on, and you better give me some goddamn new content along the way. Because I swear to fucking God, if a year down the line, the only thing we have is them going, oh, this ship gets buffed, this ship gets nerfed, this entire system is getting changed. If they do that a year down the line, I'm done. At that point, I will be done. There needs to be new content in this fucking game.
So
What
2
about
years,
our-
eh?
Mifune, what about our guests' opinions on these things?
Fair. I've been talking a lot.
I think COVID was the best fucking thing that ever happened to CCP. They just said, fuck it, we've got a captive audience. What are these fucking guys going to do? They're stuck at home. They're going to be playing the game no matter what. So we don't
So
have
let's
to.
just nerf
well-
the fuck out of it while they're
Yeah.
stuck at home.
Yeah,
well,
they're
what's
not
those
going to quit
statistics
because what else
for?
are they going to do?
They're looking
They're not
out
gonna
for
play
us. They're making sure we
Cyberpunk.
go outside and not play their game.
That reminds me of something that CCP Retati said 2 years ago, late 2019, something like that, in an interview. You know, stop playing if you want. When you see what we've done to the game, you'll be back. Now, I don't know. I'd like to go around the room, but like, how many people have we seen over the last 2 years walk away and not come back?
How many people have unsubbed numerous accounts because they're now worthless?
Yep, hands up here.
Yeah,
No,
all those
I
Rourke
unsubbed 10 Rourke accounts.
Henry, I'm going to point out in the chat, Henry, this is my other talking point. Final Fantasy 14 was pretty stagnant. Like they got hit hard as far as their player counts, and then Endwalker hit, and they fucking blew up in popularity.
Yeah,
Fucking
and then
out
they fucking
of the
crippled
water.
themselves
No,
by not allowing people to sign up. And
They
now
couldn't-
they've gone back to lower numbers than they had before that, which
no,
is sad.
so no, the problem is that they literally didn't have the money. I don't want to say they were exactly in the same situation as CCP, but they were in that similar situation of being a smaller company that shrank over time. They didn't have that much money anymore. And then they came out with Endwalker, and it blew up so bad that people were waiting in over 78-hour queues just to get into their server, right?
All the hype
Mifune,
died.
let's welcome Sanshki's webcam to
Oh,
the
is
stream.
he? Do I need to update? Discord doesn't.
Oh,
like
you
to
can
update
see what
Yeah,
him.
for
Stansky
sure.
looks
There we
like?
go.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
a
getting
handsome
doxxed
son
real
of a
bad
bitch.
now.
He is.
Oh wow. How's your voice so dark? I mean deep, you know.
That was so Freudian.
Racist.
Is it suddenly dark? My microphone does that sometimes.
The final statement, and this is my last sentence, and then we can talk more.
Oh wait,
about
you were
whatever.
calling me black. Oh, I see.
Whoa, okay, whoa.
Anyway,
Hey,
so
since when
the
is
thing was
even cute?
is that for CCP, it's not too late. If you make new content and you really try hard to make it
Well,
good,
somebody clip this and send
new
it to
content.
CCP, whatever his name is.
Yes, and it's really good new content, you will bring the players back. You
I mean, we've
will.
only been saying the same things for years.
You will bring back the 60,000 PCU if you make something that's good and worth playing.
Can we just like pause for a second? Since when is Sanshki cute? When did this
Come on,
happen?
Sean,
This
calm
is
down.
guys' night,
You
okay?
should've told
So
us my voice, okay?
All right,
I
okay.
was looking at Whale Sex's webcam like, that guy's fucking sexy. And, you know,
I know, he is, right? I mean,
Didn't say anything about that.
see, Whale Sex looks ripped too. You could just tell through his
I
shirt.
know.
The dude's fucking ripped.
I'm just fat. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I see those tits. You didn't skip chest day. You can't hide it.
Oh well, in reference to Lavari question in chat. So this is the biggest biggest question that we have about what changes CCP is going to implement to change the industry stuff to make regular capital ships cheaper. So we don't know. The reason the Ark is so expensive is because you need 2 capital fucking mods to build it. You need one for the freighter in the first place, and you need another one, which is just ridiculous. They should just get rid of the second one.
If it's not more
Or-
expensive, how will you know it's T2?
Or you, instead of like building capital ships with like a bunch of Tech 2 nonsense and, you know, putting all these planetary materials together, you just take like a collection of smaller ships and you just kind of mesh them together. Just make it real simple for new players. You know, it's like, it takes like 6 million shuttles to build a Titan, you know, of whatever race you want. It's like, that'd be so easy.
Well, so the problem is, right, if you look at the Aeon, it's like 2 Archons like put together, but then if you look at the Hell, it's actually 3 Nidhoggers put together. So that's completely unbiased.
And then,
Wait, have you,
and then you look at the Revenant, and it's just CCP Rattati's daily shit.
oh.
Jesus.
But I mean, in all seriousness, is that not how you got your hell? Did you not just drive a couple Nidhoggers into each other and call it good?
Over and over and over again until they spawned.
You
Yeah.
guys want me to tell you how I got my Aeon?
Yeah, you like friction weld them together.
Everybody says it looks like a couch. I've named all of my Aeons casting couch.
Oh, did you get the black skin on it? What was that?
Of
what
course,
was that?
every time.
That night skin? Yeah. Oh my gosh. The white purity skin is probably the worst one they've ever done.
I keep the purity skin on my Archon because it's pure. It's not allowed to have sex. But
speaking about not having sex, what's been going on in Faith of Ballus?
Well,
okay.
We killed a couple Fortizars, and then we've had no content since.
Yeah, we had that one fight where we lost 600 billion dreads. And Pappy, oh my god, the smug on Pappy's face. They're like, oh my god, we killed so many dreads. Let's party.
Yeah,
and
my
then it's like,
were just ping after ping after ping.
And then they had 2 more opportunities to cause a capital fight on 2 more Fortizars, and they didn't show up for either of those fucking timers.
Yeah, they moved so many supers too.
Why do you think they didn't show up? Do you think that it ties back to the capital production?
They don't have the money. I think it lost
money.
too much in M2. They don't have the ability to replace it.
No, think about it. If you don't already own it, you ain't getting it.
Exactly.
Just said in chat, remember when 80 dead dreads wasn't newsworthy?
Exactly.
I do. I remember.
I know that's kind of what Losec's looking like right now. They're going through dreads like.
Speaking of Losec, how was that snuffed Rorqual ops yesterday, Whalesex?
Oh yeah. So if you guys didn't know, when the conduit jump changes came out for the Rorqual, there was a glitch, and so you couldn't jump to a covert Sino with a Rorqual, but you could conduit jump to a covert Sino with a Rorqual. So they were just running through Losec with battle Rorquals all day yesterday.
That sounds like an absolute joy.
It does sound like fun. Now, I guess they fixed that today. There was a patch today.
Yeah, if you look at the patch notes, it's on the patch notes that they fixed it.
Yeah,
that's funny as hell. You know, I've equated that owning a capital in Eve, especially a super capital in Eve right now. You know, you like laugh around, it's like, haha, I got a capital, and you blow it up. Like, yeah, whatever. You know, it's like the same. I mean, I'm not sure other countries, but it's like the same thing as owning a house right now. You know, it's like, haha, I own a house, but like, there's a lot of people who are like, how the fuck did you get that house? You know, it's like, what do you mean? One didn't fall out of the sky for you? You know, because
this took me a week in my 10 Rorquals, and I mined the whole motherfucker, and I built it.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Like, what the fuck's your problem? Like, for me, I got my Aeon was just gifted to me by the guy who took apart Requiem. When he blew that whole corp out, he took all the supers with him, and I got one of those supers. Like, cool.
I got
one for Christmas.
That's an interesting take, Sanjki. Hang on a minute. That's an interesting take. How the supermarket is closely shadowing the housing market right now, or vice versa. Now, is that life imitating art, or vice versa?
I've said it for years. Eve's economy follows real life.
Considering that CCP are basing their current development process and plan and thoughts on this book called The Three-Body Problem, which is kind of where they got the idea for the Triglavians from, and also kind of a little bit of where they got the idea for scarcity from, and this is art following art. The issue is that the people in that book, when they shrink up and shrivel up because there's no water, and then they, a couple hundred years later or whatever, get rehydrated, or however that fucking storyline goes. It's been a few years since I read it. They don't have a choice. We have a choice. We can just up and say, yeah, no, fuck it, I'm out, I'm done. Have your scarcity and, eat it too.
Well, that's the thing, and it's
that's kind of the way it's going.
It's been said on the Meta Show before. Brisk and Mittens have said it. Like, this is a fucking game where we're supposed to have fun. Shouldn't CCP's main focus be, hey, let's see how much fun we can we can allow these people to have, instead of, hey, let's fucking do financial shit to fuck the economy and make it so that they can't have fun.
So, I mean, everything in the game's player created, right? Like, well, oh, I take that back. They're handing you barges now for money. Okay, so before that, everything in the game was player created, right? So why not let us create and spend more time and more of our fucking subscription dollars creating more big ships to go fucking whelp them all? And they're taking away the fun.
That's an interesting kind of side tangent to a conversation I've been having with a few other people recently, which is that a lot of gaming companies seem to like see their players as players. They kind of have this little bit of a laissez-faire relationship. You know, they want to be. They may play the game themselves, and you know they have that relationship that they kind of think about when they think about the people who are on the other side of the Discord screen or whatever talking to them. And so a lot of the time, instead of treating us as paying customers, they treat us as like fellow players because they're, you know, we're chill, they're chill, everything's all fine and dandy and good, right?
Except at
But
the
unfortunately,
end of the day, we
we
their
pay,
salary.
yeah. We're their customers. Like, listen to the fucking customers. You don't have to you don't have to do everything we say. We're not always right. But like when we say
when 2/3 of the game is screaming at you that the changes you're making are systematically destroying the game that we've all played, some of us since the day it started or shortly after. I mean, it's just absolutely fucking insane.
yeah,
And
you might want
I'll
to
go
stop
back
and
to-
listen up.
I'll go back to the same fucking statements I've made for well, I guess almost a decade now. Skill injectors were the first downfall, and it's been downhill ever since because that at the time was the solution to the new player experience. All the fucking new players, oh my god, I can't fly a battleship for 2 months. I can't get into a capital for 6 months. How am I ever going to play this game? Oh, well, here's skill injectors. Spend more money, and we'll just let you fly a fucking capital day one. And then after that, oh, too many fucking capitals in the game. We need to nerf the shit out of these. And it's been a fucking downhill charade ever since.
But I think like it was within like the first week, right? Someone had bought enough skill injectors to skill inject every single skill in the game.
It was one of the Casino War guys. He maxed out a character in one day from his Casino War money,
and then ripped them all out again.
Yeah, and then got that fucking account banned or whatever.
But yeah, I mean, we were saying at the time of skill injectors, okay, yeah, sure, as long as these are skills that are trained in the game, then fine, I guess it's okay. It'll help the new players a bit, but you know, we don't particularly like this idea, but sure. You've told us that, you know, all of the skills will be trained in-game by characters that are, you know, then ripping the skill points out of their head. There's the diminishing returns. It's a little bit funky, but fine, we guess.
So FanFest is coming up, right? What do you think? Yeah. No. What do you think they've got planned? Because don't they do some big thing?
So they are doing a keynote this year, and this is one of the props.
So what do you think's going to happen there?
This is one of the props that I have to give them. They're giving us the keynote that we fucking wanted, and hopefully we can pray that they're gonna have a roadmap to display on one of those slides for the keynote. Hopefully they will have a roadmap there.
Well, they just
You're not getting a roadmap.
Stuff,
you're getting play to earn
because they gave us a roadmap for like everything running up to FanFest.
Yeah, so hopefully they will give us like
things.
in FanFest 2019. They had the massive like 4.5 hour keynote presentation, and the entire time they sat there and they laid out the plans for every single patch leading up to when we started quadrants. Right?
You're definitely confusing the kind of years there then, Mifune, because quadrants started
it might be
in like September 2019.
It might be the 2018 keynote. But either way, they sat there and they said, here are the upcoming changes to the game. We're not going to tell you exact numbers so that the market people can't fuck things over in 6 months, but here's the general idea that we're going for over the course of the next 6-7 months. And that is what we fucking need.
When is Fint? It's like in May or something, isn't it?
It's May 6th and 7th of this year.
Yeah, 2-day FanFest, Friday and Saturday. We're expecting that the keynote will probably be coming sometime around 1700-ish on the 6th.
Are you going to be there, Dirk?
I'm not going to FanFest, no. I thought about it. I had plans to go to 2019. And 2020. I had plans to go to 2020 FanFest. Had everything booked. Then obviously like lockdowns hit and everything. But I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that this year's FanFest is going to be worth it. I'm not convinced that it's worth the trip. I'm not convinced it's worth the serious expense. I mean, you've got to think, right? Like Iceland is one of the most expensive places in Europe you can possibly go. You're going to be talking about a hell of a lot of money. Possibly not on flights, but certainly hotels are not.
Oh hell, Dirk,
Not
flights are up
cheap.
40% thanks to fuel prices currently.
And then you've got to think about food and drink and everything for like it'll be a 4 or 5 day weekend in one of the most expensive places in Europe. It's like the equivalent of Vegas prices or whatever, I think.
What, you poor or something?
I'd just rather spend that money on like other European trips. There's a couple of trips that are being planned in the Imperium's party Discord in Europe.
Now, Dirk, we all know that as a good goon, you enjoy spending your money mainly on cocaine.
Hey, whoa! I'm not the Matani.
We'll give a shout out to Drew Cisnero there. 45 fucking months.
That's an impressive fucking
Nice.
resub.
Nice.
Just
one,
to be
man.
clear on that last comment, Constantine, I am absolutely calling you
we
out on
are
that one.
we are normally approaching our normal time limit here, so what I do want to cram in.
Constantine.
Do we want to talk about cocaine a little bit?
I want
cocaine.
No,
I wanted
doing UI.
to. I wanted to go into the new UI, so I'm gonna shove this over here. And sorry, cameras, you guys are gonna get screwed here for a minute. But this is the brand new, for those who have not seen it, this is the brand new UI that they have added in. It's an experimental UI that they have added into the game. And if you want to try it out for yourself, you have to go to your escape menu, and then you have to go to feature previews, and you have to turn the UI on. It will force you to restart your game client. It will force you to restart your game client completely, and when you disable it, it will also force you to reset your client. But this is the general look of it, and I do gotta say, I like this UI a lot. It's got a few bugs here and there, but overall the general quality is good. One of the biggest things I like about this, I was talking about this before stream, it is now possible to fully collapse your local window to just show the names. To just show the names in local. So you don't have to like even see the speck of local spam if you don't want to.
I don't like that. I want local spam, and I want to make sure everyone sees my local spam.
Well, if you want it, then you can have it. But you can. But
no, I want other people to have it. I don't want people not to have it. That's my problem.
So the other fun stuff is that when you highlight one of your windows, the background blur will change to the color that you have set for the UI. So on my main chats here, I have stuff, and it highlights that window in the Caldari blue print since I have the Caldari colors. And the same thing goes as if I go to my overview or my combat log, it highlights it, and it's really nice. Same thing goes for the market window. All of the colors match the ship thing that you chose. And it's just generally a good UI. I'm enjoying it.
Oh well, So even regardless of that, there was one small UI issue that like crossed over into the regular game from this last patch, and that's contracts being fucked up. So like before, if you typed someone's name in the contract, it would like immediately switch it to private, but it doesn't do that anymore.
Right, there has been a few bugs that have contained into the normal UI. I believe another one we discovered was one of the tabs in the agency broke a little bit. The encounters tab in the agency broke a tad. It wasn't loading properly. And I feel like all of that just has to do with spaghetti code and the fact that they're trying to cake something new on top of something old, and there's bound to be some code breaks in there. But the good thing about this, and I feel that we were talking about it before the stream started, and something that's good in the direction that CCP is asking for players for so much feedback. And I mean, they're asking for feedback before this thing is even ready for normal testing like we're used to, right? When we test stuff on CC and when new things come out on Tranquility, they're usually pretty polished. And even though there are some kinks and some bugs sometimes, seeding issues for compression things, that happens. But they are giving us this new UI in such an early state, like in an early ass alpha level state of a UI change. And
So do you think this is like the way they're going to be doing changes in the future, is to kind of
with certain changes
release it with options, right? So
Yeah.
I think they should have like if you go to the testing UI phase or whatever, to the feature previews, you can actually, it looks like you'll be able to click on multiple different instances of UI. And so if that's a real thing, then hopefully they have like you can make your own individualized UI profiles.
I could just imagine where that can. Think of all the Hello Kitty skins we're gonna have for UI now.
That would be amazing.
Could you imagine? It's like,
And
oh yeah,
agility. See, we're on their way there. Good
give
job,
us
CCP.
give us total CSS control, and everyone just adds like dick backgrounds to their overview and shit. Like that'd be hilarious.
You guys, you're going to Hogwarts.
What?
Like streams too.
Hello Kitty backgrounds, dude. A massive, like, do you remember back in the day with Ventrilo and TeamSpeak skins, and like you could get like an image that's like 40% transparent, and it would be the background for your TeamSpeak skin or whatever, right? I could just imagine that, but it's fucking like Hello Kitty, and she's got an avatar in her hands, and that's your overview background, right? Like that'd be hilarious.
Another thing. So when you're talking about local chat, I thought of a better idea. CCP. Here's what you need to do. Okay, I want you. So if I am sitting next to a ship, if our two ships are in space, I type something in local and I press enter. A little text box appears above my ship for them to read it, and you can't disable it. I want them to see it, right? But also, if you can have like a text to speech, read it out loud if I'm close enough to them, and you can't turn it off either. I also want that to happen. Don't get rid of local chat. No,
it's got to be
local chat.
No, because broadcasting
It's
causes a bunch of issues.
No. It's got to be like one of those really
Sound doesn't work in outer space.
It's got to be one of those really no. It's got to be one of those really dumb. It's got to be one of those really dumb text-to-speech programs. So when you make a dick out of equal signs and a D, all you hear is equal sign, equal sign, equal sign, equal sign.
So there was this game called Moonbase Alpha that was released on Steam by NASA. It was this cute little, kids can explore what it's like to have a moon base. And it had that on by default. And there was some awesome memes you go look up. But that's what I want, because what people do is they type in, I remember this was exclamation mark and Q, and it would take forever to read it. You did it like 5 times, but the pacing of the text-to-speech program was just so stupid. It was like exclamation mark Q, exclamation mark Q, just for like 45 minutes. You're just trying to enjoy your game, and you could not turn it off. That's what I want.
Now, speaking of turning things on and off, Sansky, I hear you've been having some fun with court mails lately.
Oh, don't get me started. Yeah, so basically, I was running the Goonwaff propaganda department for like a week, and it was probably the best week Goonwaff has had in probably 30 years, right? Because I was sending out the corporate facts of the day, and they were just fucking truth bombs one after the other. And everyone in Goonwaff, they'd wake up. They would wake up reading these corp mails, and they're like, wow, my day has just gotten better with this corporate fact of the day, right? And I'm like, I had a purpose in the corp too. I was like, this is the calling. You know, I think I'm making people happier. I think I'm actually improving lives and probably saving lives with these corp mails, right? But then, you know, I'm in the coffee shop every day typing up the corp mail. I think it was something about, I don't know, some butthole or something. But anyways, I press send and it's like, you don't have access to corp mail anymore. And I'm like, what the hell? So originally I was given access because I just walked up to Jay Amazing, you know, and give him a little bro job right there. And then he gave me communication officer. He didn't really ask permission for anyone. He just gave it to me. I'm like, cool. And so that's when I started sending off my propaganda like there was, you know, no tomorrow. And it was beautiful. Everyone was happy, but someone took it away. I don't know who. I've already messaged the entire, you know, directorate of the Goonwaff, and all of them ignored me because I don't think anyone knows me. But like,
Well, no, they
I don't
know
who
you
did
because
it.
that's
I
why
think
you're
Ragnar
not
has something to
Because
do
they
with it.
read the
a commander anymore.
Say it again.
That's why you're not a skirmish commander anymore.
Because they know you.
Well, that was a different
They should know
situation.
me.
We
They
probably
should
shouldn't go into
remove
that.
any skirmish commanders too. I feel like every time I get good at doing something, I'm immediately demoted because they're scared I'm going to take someone else's job. That's what's going on.
It's a conspiracy, I tell you.
It is.
That's a good take. I like that take.
We're getting
Because
close to
those
the end of
nails
the
of
show
day-
here.
Fire.
We should start winding things up. Mifune, what do you think, bud?
I don't know. Do we want to make this a little guys' night special and go on for another 20-ish minutes, or do we want to send it off here soon?
Well, being a guys' night, we can also remind being bros and all to check for testicular cancer. That's a big killer in men.
Yeah, mostly
obviously.
around the 15th of every month.
Yeah, exactly. Whale sex is smart. He has a way to do it. He'll check himself in the shower around the 15th of every
Always
month.
check a bro. Okay, never be alone.
Yeah, well, you know your own.
You want to space
better
it
than
out,
anybody
right?
else,
Because
right?
if you just feel them every day, you're gonna be like, oh, that was there yesterday. But if you feel them every month, right? You're like, oh man, that wasn't there last month.
I mean, that's a really good
Is this like
strategy.
the weaponized chlamydia?
I support that strategy. But yeah, no, like as much as we can joke about it, Greg's got a very serious point here. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's
check
very
your-
important to check.
Check yourself
If I
regularly,
keep my hands
guys.
off my balls for longer than 5 seconds, I will use whale sex as a technique. You're absolutely right. They're being grasped right now. I can't help it. I'm sorry.
Swelling
As long
or
as it's not on
hardness?
screen,
Oh,
we're
there's
okay.
a lot of hardness down there, Wooly.
What else do bros do besides like rub each other's testicles and make sure we're all healthy?
Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah.
Make sure
All right. Well,
groom your beard,
yeah,
Greg.
that is true. All right. Well, I think we could move on to final thoughts for the night. So, Ghoster, what's your final thought of the night?
I don't know. I really enjoyed Bros Night. It was great to see people's real life faces. Don't forget to get your Sector 6 apparel. Cocaine's one hell of a drug. That's about all I got.
All right, Dirk.
Yeah, I mean, you know, props to CCP for some of the stuff they've been doing recently. But seriously, their leadership needs to check themselves before they wreck themselves. And other than that, I am gonna plug the Anger Games Opens, which have been happening every Sunday on INN. We're going to be broadcasting those for about another 3 weekends, and then we're going to be transitioning over to CCP's channel for the Anger Games feeder rounds just before FanFest. That's April 30th. And then we will be back after FanFest on May 28th through June 12th. Every day of the weekend for about 4 hours over there. It's going to be great. Anger Games is a 7v7 tournament, and you get to watch lots of ships blow up. So you guys should tune in.
All right, Greg,
What?
final thought.
Oh, sorry, I was doing something. I
Again,
don't
cocaine's
know,
one
man.
hell of a drug.
I don't know. I have lots of thoughts, man. Everybody get ready for the first annual Theta Thursday talent show extravaganza,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
which we're still working on. I've got some things planned. Mifune is going to be doing show tunes. Also, Mifune, you want to plug your TikTok?
No, I'd rather not.
Okay. All right.
What?
That's all I got. Oh, Don's back.
Can I just ask Greg, just how long have you been working on the first annual Theta Thursday talent show? Because it feels like it's been more than a year now, buddy.
Since 2012.
It's been about 18 months.
2012.
About
Since
10
since
years.
JU Standing was born.
I mean, it's got to be
about
fucking
it.
right. We can't have we can't have like a fucking Academy Awards type show. Can't have people getting fucking slapped and shit.
I was about to say we can't have a slapping incident.
I mean, what if they like it? Are you kink shaming there, Greg?
Yes.
Not at all, Dirk.
We are kink shaming Will Smith.
Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth.
Dude, I saw a dumbass TikTok the other day. It made me laugh because me and my coworkers we go to the local college bar a couple of times a month, and they always just have like the weirdest, shittiest fucking DJs at these college bars, man. And I saw this TikTok where it's like college bar DJs for like the next month, and it's a guy like, and he's playing the Will Smith clip. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, and the fucking beat drops, and I'm like, dude, that's so fucking true.
Mifune, why are you going to bars when you're underage?
Dirk.
He's
I
21.
mean, look
now.
at that baby.
You must
Look
not
at that
remember
baby face in his
Mifune.
goatee. He's not 21.
You must not remember Mifune passing out before he could even lead his birthday fleet.
Yeah,
Saturdays ago.
Dude, I can't
Well, that's
even.
because Mifune's still young enough to need a midday nap.
I woke up the next day and I completely forgot that we were like, oh yeah, let's just do the event site for the complete memes, and then there's a neutral fucking Ishtar there that we all murdered. I completely forgot that happened. But anyway, all right.
Dawn, final thoughts?
Is Dawn even still here?
She
came back. Let's go to Sansky. Sansky, what do you got for us?
Oh yeah, I got some fucking final thoughts. All right. Okay, hold on. Yeah. So in regards to the actual industry changes, right? I myself, through what I do for a living, I get the purpose of making money and exploiting people. I get that. I respect that. So like. And also, I've never really heard, like all the MMOs I played, I never really heard an MMO player like, wow, I love the company making this MMO. That just doesn't happen, right? So yeah, everyone just fucking hates them. However, I would like to point this out. Let me get some fucking truth bombs in front of me here. So,
yeah.
First off, we have, I want to point out the instance of RuneScape, which is another MMO. And I'm not trying to mansplain for people who don't know it. It's just, RuneScape is a different MMO, different than Eve. It's old-timey swords and magic and shit. But at one point...
Wait, time out. I gotta get my glasses on too.
Good. So RuneScape did a flipperoni in the leadership of the company. And they went from like, having a cool, like a really nice MMO type feel to like a money printer where you can like buy skills. It's pay to win. They did a flip almost within a year. And it was so bad that obviously everyone quit and they were now losing money. And that was about, I think that was around like 2015. So they were losing so much money. So what they decided to do is they pulled the player base on what to do next. And the player base was like, can we just go back to the old way where you couldn't buy any of this shit? In Eve Equipment, like you couldn't buy skill injectors, you couldn't buy new character, I don't know, just whatever changed. Insert change here. I believe, yes, the skill injector. Holy shit, look at those glasses you got on. Okay, man, I need to up my game here. And so what they did is they opened up a server called Old School RuneScape, which was supposed to be a side project. Okay, and I'm looking at the records right now of Old School RuneScape, which has been out for I think like 5 years, and all it was just a copy and paste of a backup system they were having before all these stupid, monetization changes that were like the new thing. And so the current game, as is, which is known as RuneScape 3, which has all these monetization changes, it's currently ranked 12 out of all MMOs with a daily player count of 140,000, 150,000, right? The Old School RuneScape, which has no pay to win whatsoever and supposed to be a side project, is tremendously more profitable for the company. Even though the only thing you can buy is a subscription in that game. It is ranked 4 out of all MMOs on MMOpopulation.com with a daily player count of nearly double of 650,000. So, by all means, if you want to exploit players, give them an option to pay more to win. Yeah, you're going to get the whales coming in there. It's like, oh, I'm going to pay $2,000 to get fucking 20 accounts. But in the long run, it will always defeat the greater population of people. So that's what I have to point out with CCP is, economically, it may make sense in the short term, but in the long term, just make it sustainable. Just have people like it, It's not going to be a money printer, but people are going to like it, and it's going to grow.
For a little bit of context, do you want to drop where EVE Online is on that list?
You know what? Let me see. I didn't even look at that.
What is it? MMO population?
It's 19th.
Yeah, MMOpopulation.com. Oh,
EVE Online is 19th.
19. Oh my gosh, this is actually interesting. So for reference, World of Warcraft is number 1, Destiny 2 is 2, Final Fantasy XIV, I'm not smart enough to know what number that is. That's number 3, and yeah, let me look at EVE Online. You said it was 19th? Yeah, it was 19th.
Dirk, we're in your hometown.
We should not be losing to Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
really?
we are dead ass losing to the Old Republic.
I mean, Jesus Christ, we're losing to Elite Dangerous, which isn't even really a fucking MMO.
We're losing to New World, even after New World sucked.
World of Warcraft was the first MMO, so it just makes sense.
Oh yeah,
Kanshki, that was very well said. Thank you for that. That was a
thank you.
That was
thank
a truth
you,
bomb
for having me. And thank
it was
you.
like
Now
it was
you're
like
gonna have to give everybody a little bit of a background on your IRL, as Greg likes to say, skills.
I'm a sex worker.
It's where he got that voice.
That's where he got the voice. I got it now. He's Magic Mike. We all get it.
He's magic on that mic, yeah.
All right, Will Sex, what do you got for final thoughts this week?
Give it to us.
So they've been leaning into this new player experience like heavily, and so we don't see the specific numbers that they're putting up on like how many new players are joining the game and what their retention is. We all personally know that like a lot of our friends are not subscribing to the game anymore, and a lot of people are like dropping out. So it would be interesting to know, like, since the player count has gone down over the past 2 years, and you would expect to see a bump from people being locked inside their homes, if it's just more old players leaving and a bunch of new players like filling the gap, or if it's just like overall like a slump and all of the new player experience stuff that they've been doing is actually working or not. I think they need a lot more transparency, because I like the biggest thing like that, like from what the people that I talk to, that gets them to keep playing EVE is the community itself. And there's like, even with there's like, they got rid of the in-game chat services that they had for the voice, and especially since like chat is now like a third-party service, to see if they can get voice for third-party with EVE now to like fill in that gap. That's all I got.
Yeah,
All right.
it'd be it would definitely be interesting to now. Are there books open, like, or like, do they release everything, or because I know they got
No.
the
No, because the
monthly
only thing we
economic
see,
report,
the only
right?
see is the economic report.
We see the economic report. Obviously, we've got EVE Offline data, and EVE Offline does have a graph of new characters created, I think, per
Is
day.
that? Can you pull that from the API?
I'm just double checking to make sure that I'm correct when I say that, but I'm pretty sure they have a new players created per day on their graph. Yeah, newborn player graphs. We talked about this on Push to Talk last week, but if you go ahead and take a look, I will drop this link in chat. If you take a look at the EVE Offline server for Tranquility, you can see that, in the past 48 hours, there's been some probably like, what is that? Like, actually a fair chunk of new players created. You're talking about somewhere between 100 and 200 new players created every hour over the past 48 hours. That's relatively stable once you start looking at like the past 6 months at least. But it's not huge in terms of that aspect of when you compare those graphs to the PCU and the regular concurrent users of EVE Online.
It doesn't add up. Yeah.
The retention aspect just doesn't add up, unfortunately. It really just doesn't.
It's interesting. That's the first time I've seen that.
But CCP keep telling us, it's not about the PCU, it's about the daily active users, which they are massively pushing with their login campaigns, and, they're redoubling their new player efforts, which you mentioned as well. They've been redoubling those efforts for the past 7 fucking years, which I think is quite impressive, considering that we're on, like, new player experience 6.0 or something, 5.0, 6.0. Actually, we'd be on 0.1 because they released an update to the Air new player experience.
How do we get onto the Queen's server?
You don't. The only servers that are available to players from that list are Tranquility, Serenity, and Singularity.
Duality.
Buckingham,
That's the one where you get all the skills, right?
Duality is one of.
Or is that I think.
Buckingham, as I understand it, is CCP's primary internal testing server. So that's the one that they use, and then Duality and Multiplicity have both been kind of spun up at various points and exposed to the public for very specific testing. So when they released Fozzy Self, when they released Aegis Self, I think that happened on Duality, the testing for that, because it was such a massive change. So they wanted to make sure it all happened on Duality. People got like fresh accounts, could go crazy for 2 months or something. I seem to remember everyone invaded Providence.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, originally we practiced invading Providence, and then we did invade Providence. That was the first group
Exactly,
of systems to get invaded with Fozzy Soft, and we broke the fuck out of that with the
but yeah,
SPUs and stuff.
Yeah, this shows a bunch of servers that players don't usually have access to, just because they are exposed to the API or the ESI somehow. Who maintains this? Is this Squiz? Or is this somebody else? I can't remember who maintains EVE Offline.
Yeah. But in any case, we are reaching the end of our show. So it's been a great show tonight. Guys' night has been great. It's been great.
Do you have
everybody.
last words, Mifune, for us?
Yeah.
I mean, final thoughts, not last words.
Yeah, CCP.
We're not executing you yet.
Off with his head.
Fix the MER. Give us new content.
Give us in-game chat. Actually, you know what? Fix sound in EVE, because I play with 15 accounts, and so like I run at like 20% CPU max if I have the sound off, and if I put sound on all of my accounts, it completely fucking fucks over my CPU.
No, the
Whale,
biggest
there
thing
is no sound in
we-
space.
No. We've had the new warp sounds for how many months, and they still haven't fixed the issue of hearing your entire fleet fucking warp at the same time.
Oh my god, I love the warp sounds. You shut the hell up. I
No,
love them.
I enjoy them.
Scary.
I
Scary.
enjoy them. I
No,
just
they're-
I
they're-
don't
they're
want to
optimis-
hear 256 warp noises at different intervals in the same 10 seconds because it spikes CPU and it breaks my fucking headphones.
Oh, even if it's doing
What are you
nothing, it's
going
still
on for there,
spikes
Greg?
CPU.
But
Rubbing that pussy.
Just trying to shove his asshole in my face.
in any case, we had a great show tonight. I thank you guys all for coming out. I hope all the viewers had a absolute wonderful time.
What about Don? Did Don have any final words? Don,
Dawn!
What?
you have any final
Final
thoughts?
I'm in Harry Potter world now. And I was trying to show you the dragon, but it wasn't fire breathing. So I gave up.
Oh, you're in Dirk's hometown?
Yeah.
Yeah, she really made that joke funny. Funny the first time. Few
And
more
the second time.
I mean, realistically, the actual place that they filmed it is about like 500 miles north of me, so
That's
not really
far.
not really that much of my hometown. But you know, sure, we'll go
Just
with
be
it.
careful, Don. We're fucking taken in by all that fucking witchcraft, Satanism, wizardry
Yeah,
shit.
seriously, Don. Be a good Christian lady.
Don't come back to us groomed, okay?
Hand out
Hey,
flyers.
look, you all stop kink shaming right there.
All right. Well, I think that is the end of Theta Thursday for tonight. I thank you all for coming out. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend.
Oh, I got a quick message, everybody. Remember, be good. If you can't be good, be careful.
And check your testicles.
All right, guys. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Night night.